The leader of our country is frail and confused a lot of the time, and he is surrounded by really bad nurses. I would say almost like he has a team of nurse ratchets surrounding him, perpetrating elder abuse on him, and they allow him to go in front of cameras and speak like this openly. And he has a very powerful position, and his frailty is constantly on full display, and nobody will do anything about it, because I think that even the people surrounding him must hate him, because if you loved somebody and you cared about their reputation, right, you would not allow them to embarrass themselves and display their advanced dementia the way that the people surrounding him do. His family clearly hates him. All the people in the White House clearly hate him because nobody is helping him. So that's what we're going to try to do here. Play the clip.
Socialist Venezuela, and you see what happened to those places. For generations, Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa. I mean, if you take a look at what's going on in parts of South Africa, look at South Africa, what's going on. Look at South America, what's going on. You know, I'm not going to, we have a G20 meeting in South Africa. South Africa shouldn't even be in the G's anymore, because what's happened there is bad. I'm not going. I told him I'm not going. I'm not going to.
Okay. All right. All right. Clearly he is confused Cuba with South Africa. And then he just keeps going because he doesn't really know where he is.
Right.
And nobody is assisting him. Nobody is preparing him for this. Nobody is telling him, hey, your dementia is really getting bad. I think it would be better if we message this through Truth Social, your preferred avenue. And he's just embarrassing himself and putting on a master class on how to stand in front of a podium and display your dementia, because that's all I see there. And nobody around him will do anything about it.
You know, I was about to laugh, and I just thought he has the codes for the nuclear warheads. He's in charge of relationships with other countries, and it is breathtaking how bad it is. I mean, it is really bad. But here's the thing. Everybody in his cabinet is just like, or everybody that surrounds him is just like him. They're out for number one. They have all the power. They can give him his projects. He can write in gold on the outside of the Oval Office. He can put up his little doodads. But this is pathetic. I mean, this is pathetic.
And I would just think that at least if they're not going to intervene while he displays his advanced dementia all day, every day, that at least they could teach him some new tricks. Right. He has been a one-trick pony now for 10 years, and his routine is tired, boring, and lame. Here he is going after the governor of California yet again, and a snooze fest, and this isn't even his best nickname making. Play the clip.
Slimy one. Maybe that should be his nickname. Slimy Newscomb, right? But he doesn't have it. But you look.
Okay.
Is he slurring?
He always is slurring. I mean, he's always slurring. His dementia is on clear display. I mean, this has been going on for months on end, back to the Christie Nome, where he bopped around, listened to music, and nobody will do anything about it. I mean, it's very obvious to me that he is such a little tyrant, and he'll fire anybody that will speak out. And all of the people surrounding him are so uniquely unqualified at being adults. I'm not even going to say at the jobs they have. I would say that they're unqualified to even be functioning adults. And those are the people surrounding him, and they're running the country. And at least somebody could teach him some new things to do, because this old, tired routine 10 months in, it is the biggest snooze fest on the planet. He is rendering himself irrelevant.
Yeah.
And people in the Republican Party are noticing, and they are starting to act accordingly. The only people who haven't caught up are his billionaire buddies that are buying up and monopolizing all of the media, who continue to wash this all day, every day. And just the two clips that I've shown you, this is a person that looks like they snuck out of the memory care wing of a nursing home facility and went to a bar and did a few shots and is sitting at the end of the bar while the nurses are running around trying to find him. That's what it looks like to me. It does. The slurring, it's just like an old drunk.
Sliminess.
Yeah. All right, moving along. Here he is talking about California's infrastructure projects and just, again, putting on a masterclass that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Play the clip.
In California, he's got a train that was supposed to go from San Francisco to Los Angeles, which is a stupid idea because an airplane is faster. I don't care how fast it goes. And they had plenty of airplanes. San Francisco, inside San Francisco to inside right there, LA.
What are we doing, America? Like, what are we doing? That is not a normal person. That is a person with dementia. That is, it is such an indictment on the cowardice, low T Republicans in Congress and Senate that do not move and act on this. What the fuck are we doing? And he does this all day, every day. And the media has gone along and been complicit and acted like this is normal, to where if your parents, elderly parents, were behaving like this in public, grandstanding like that, making an ass of themselves, not making sense, you go, come on, honey, let's go over here. We're going to put you down for your nap. That's how it would end. And instead, the media covers it. Trump slams Gavin Newsom's infrastructure plan. Like anything he said just made sense, right, or is married to reality.
You know what's so crazy about that is that he is in Miami talking about what's going on in California, making no sense. He does all these rants in front of other world leaders in the Oval Office. And these people are sitting there. And I would imagine that it's extremely uncomfortable to witness him on a stage. I mean, for me, it would be, my heart would be racing, my palms would be sweaty. It would
You're
make
a normal
me so
person though, Pumps. Think about Howard Nutlick. He sits there and just starts dying laughing.
Yeah.
And then they all start like smirking. Think about Hegseth and Rubio. They've all just capitulated this. The one thing that I think is universally true about Donald Trump, whether it be somebody in his cabinet, somebody on his payroll, or somebody that has never met the man, but has voted for him 3 times that you know personally in any town in America. With each vote and each capitulation to this man, everybody has become worse because of their support of him. If it's somebody I know personally, and I do know by geography living in Oklahoma, Trumpers, they're worse people. He makes people worse. But on the inverse of that, he is making the Democratic Party and people like Pumps and me see how their incremental style of governing didn't really help the people who needed it most, when the mantra of the party was to be the party of the working class. Bernie Sanders was spot on, and we abandoned that, and that created a vacuum. So we're now at the moment where the bubble's bursting, and we saw in the elections, nobody likes kanks. And now they're still trotting him out weekend at Bernie's him all the time. And it's just an absolute shit show. And here he is compulsively lying yet again. And this is why the Republicans lost on the ballot on Tuesday, because he can't spin this. They know what they're paying. They know. And he continues to say shit like this because he's never been poor a day in his life, even when he was bankrupt. A multimillionaire's form of bankruptcy is completely different than the average person's, I don't have a dollar to my name. Play the clip.
In 9 months, we've lifted over 600,000 Americans off of food stamps, which is a record. 1.9 million more American-born workers are employed today. Think of that. Almost 2 million American-born workers are employed today, more than when I took office. That's 9 months ago. Can you imagine that? And I tell Republicans, if you want to win elections, you got to talk about these facts. You know, it's really easy to win elections when you talk about the facts.
I find that stunning, even though it shouldn't be. He wants to talk about facts when all he does is fucking lie. I mean, he fired the jobs report people working for the government because they were showing how many jobs have been lost. He has withheld numbers. He has doctored numbers, and he sits up there and lies and acts like it's truth. And I'm just like, what the fuck? But I'll tell you, I had a great idea. If I were his chief of staff, I'll tell you exactly what I would do. I would put him in a room with all his little sycophants. I would hook up a camera, and I would tell him he was on TV so that you could feed his ego. And that way he wouldn't be out there embarrassing himself. Like, do you think they don't see it or don't care? I mean, it's stunning to me they roll him out there in that condition.
I just think they're inside the Death Star, and that aforementioned triple trumping that I spoke about, with each time people have capitulated to their worst impulses, each time they have forgiven and excused racism, forgiven and excused a violent insurrection on our state capitol, forgiven and excused the horrible things he says about our men and women in uniform, forgiven and excused the cruelty on display. They become worse and worse of a person. And so then it becomes like Pandora's box. If you're surrounding him and you're inside the Death Star and you're in the cult, you can't open up any of it. You can't allow any of it to be opened up, because then the floodgates would open. So they all have to stay in and drink the Kool-Aid, because this is a personality cult that all authoritarians have surrounding them. And so they can't face any of it, because then a whole avalanche would come. And you're even seeing now people that are getting deprogrammed, triple Trumpers that are coming out, speaking out. And they admit it, that once they let one thing happen, then, the dam broke, and then it all comes in. So the people surrounding him have to believe in him, believe in all of this shit. And particularly like the Susie Wiles and all of them, They're not going to check him. They're not going to do any of that, because they learned, and he has displayed, that if you are not loyal, you are gone. And so they ignore it. They go into denial, and they proceed, much like somebody who's in a relationship with an addict. Right. It's a very, very similar psychological state of denial in which those surrounding him participate in. And finally, pumps. I thought this was really rich. Here's little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson lecturing Gavin Newsom on his, quote, immoral leadership. Play the clip.
I'll make a comment about the tragedy in California last night. What California did is very, very different, as you all know, by comparison to what a state like Texas did. Texas was following the federal and state constitution, following their state law and redistricting. California was not. They had to trample over their own state law, over their own independent redistricting commission that they had all put into place. It was a desperation, a sign of desperation on the Democrat Party. It was a game to try to rig the election, as if you could gerrymander California anymore. They managed to do it. I mean, there's like 53 representatives from California. We had 9. They want us to have 3. I mean, it's just a blatant example of Gavin Newsom's immoral leadership, and the fact that they will do it.
Pause it right there. I want each and every one of you to look at all of the crusty white people surrounding this man, and for him to stand there and lie when California did this in a way that took it to the people in the most democratic American way imaginable. Where Texas did it is all Hot Wheels had to say was, how many more seats can I accommodate for you, sir? Right. And usurps the will of Texas voters, particularly the will of Black and brown voters, by doing what he's doing. So everything he said is absolutely a lie. But further, for little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson to talk about immoral leadership when he is the biggest protector and defender of pedophilia this nation has ever seen, because he's absolutely powerful, and he uses to wield 0% of his power. And he likes to get on camera and grandstand. And he's not even that great of a speaker. He's not interesting. And he grandstands nonstop, because he does it all for a party of one, for an audience of one. And what's going to happen to little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson is as follows. Kank, something is going to happen because biology is catching up with him. And the people who didn't have any conviction, they're going to go down. And then we're never going to hear about little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson again. He is not going to survive in a post-MAGA world. His career is over. He is a complete disaster, worthless human being. I cannot imagine that you make up this bullshit story that God woke you up in the middle of the night, told you you were Moses and you were going to be Speaker of the House. And then a part of that plan in your fucked up, crazy, religious addict brain is that you're going to be a guy that protects pedophiles. Is breathtaking. I can't believe we're even talking about this, that our government engages in that. But that's where we are in the United States of America. The Republican Party that tells you they're big into Christian values. And Moses Mike Johnson is a big Jesus thumper, Bible thumper. His number one job that he's been doing is protecting powerful people, including his boss, who I think he might kind of be in love with or something, because it's weird.
I think so too.
Right?
He has just, I mean, he's too straight down the line. He denies anything he says that's harmful. He lies about what he says that's good. Every lie Trump says for him to repeat, he does it. There's zero questioning. I kind of wonder if it's love. I really do. And Trump browbeats him behind his back and says, I've got him in my pocket. He'll do whatever I want. So yeah, I mean, it smells like love to me a little bit. I know he's, got the guy that he lives with, that they do all that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's love.
It's love, or they have goods on him. I mean, there's always been this idea that, that Pecker guy that owned the National Enquirer and he had the safe, and they would buy stories like that. They've got the goods on Lindsey Graham and that Kanks has the goods on other people, and they might have the goods on Moses Mike Grinder Johnson. And what his Grinder profile reveals, which, I mean, I'm all like, spill the tea. We're bored as shit with our one trick ponies dementia game and his name calling. Like, he is boring. Let's release the Grinder files right after the Epstein files. That's what I want. That would make me feel patriotic.
Epstein,
all right. That's
Grinder, in that order.
Yes, in that order. All right. That's all we have for this episode. Buy our book. It's called Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. It's a great way to support Pumps and me and our channel. Subscribe, comment, do all the stuff you're supposed to do, and we'll be back later with more news.